Well, hello again, Ever Strong family. We are in 2 Corinthians, and now we're going to examine chapter 12. Similar to chapter 10 and 11, Paul addresses the notion about boasting. And while he has much he could boast about, he refrains from doing so. He actually goes on to describe a thorn in his side that was placed there. Now, there are so many different studies that I've heard in church as well as read about and listened to where people start contemplating what that thorn was. What does it represent? I've even heard some people refer to it as his representation of guilt for his early persecution of the early church. All of this is speculation as we have no actual proof as to what he was referring to, but still, he refers to an illustration of something holding him back from becoming prideful, boasting. And that is what he's addressing here. Why is he addressing it? Because still, there are other spiritual leaders within the church and outside of the church who are using their efforts to advance themselves in the public eye, to lift themselves up on high on a pedestal. And that's not something that reflects Christ. As we know, Christ always talked about being a servant of others, not being served by others. And he refers to this multiple times about his love for the church of Corinth, that they are his children and he wishes to serve them. He even goes on to say that this was a church that out of all the churches, he never even became a financial burden to the church of Corinth, which is saying a great deal because remember, while he was a tent maker, his wages were very low. But let's go ahead and read chapter 12, verse 19, and then we'll get into it. Perhaps you think we're saying these things just to defend ourselves. No, we tell you this as Christ's servants, and with God as our witness, everything we do, dear friends, is to strengthen you. So ultimately, what Paul is doing is he's communicating that we are not like these false apostles. We are not like these false leaders. We're not doing this to better ourselves. We are fathers of the church. All we want is for our children to be benefited, to be taken care of, for their needs to be met. And ultimately, while these other men wish financial gain, maybe political power or prominence in the church, his goal as a father, as he communicates that they are his children, his goal is to raise them up the way they ought to go, that they would go out and preach the gospel to all nations, that they would make disciples of many men and women. That's all. He's not trying to gain anything from them except gain God's presence in their life. So what can that say about you and I? Ultimately, that's what we should be after. We should always be A, preaching the gospel, and B, looking for ways that we can serve others. But C, and this is something that's not to be diminished, we are meant to make disciples, whether that means reading the Bible in a Bible study or just preaching the gospel and bringing people to the Lord. It's not our job to make converts, but it is our job to speak the name of Jesus into the world. God bless you.